Hey everybody, thanks for your patience. It's been a little bit of a while, but I want to give you all the updates that I think are really cool about SoundSelf's beta build 0.3.4, and there's a lot of them. Okay, firstly, we now have integrated Vive support. It doesn't run as well as Oculus yet. We're working on that. So you're going to need a kind of bulky graphics card in order to run it reliably on Vive. But please let us know, give us feedback, see if it's working, and if it's not working, let us know, and we're going to try to work on that. There's no head positional tracking yet, and sometimes the rotational tracking bugs out a little bit, but since you should be playing SoundSelf lying down if you're in VR, I don't think that interferes with the experience too much. Okay, next, we have a new menu. What you're seeing right now is actually a prototype of the new menu, and that's what you get in this build, and we're working on improving this menu even more. But this gets rid of a lot of the issues people were having with setting up their audio. I know that was infuriating for you all. Sorry. Sometimes we make terrible decisions as designers. But this, I think, this was designed by Crystal Beasley, and I think it makes the flow into the game a lot better. And our next build will have an even better version of this. All right, there is a new visualization that is replacing an old visualization. This is kind of a tunnel of light. The very first visualization I made for SoundSelf looked like a tunnel of light, and as the months and years went by and I iterated on it year after year, it started to become less and less like a tunnel of light and more like a flower. So this goes back to the original vision of that visualization and is just a tunnel of light. And it's replacing this older visualization, which was just kind of often people would come out of SoundSelf having seen that visualization a lot and say it wasn't changing or do anything, so took the hint on that and got rid of it. All right, here's one that I'm really excited about and really nerdy about, and maybe you will be as well, but it's pretty subtle. We've been using a breath detection system in SoundSelf to detect when you breathe in, and it's so far been based exclusively on the sound you make. So you make a long sound, ooh, and based on when you stop making a sound and based on the length of the tone, we roughly infer about how long your inhalation is going to be and about when your inhalation is going to be. And the game reacts to when it thinks you're breathing in. So now I've created a system that's actually tracking the audio, the non-tonal audio, when you stop toning, to give a much better guess at when you're breathing in, because it's actually listening to you now. And not only that, but it's also tracking when you're breathing out. So that new system will automatically kick in if the noise floor in your room is quiet enough, and if the noise floor in your room, or if other noises are happening, or if anything's going on that makes the AI think that it's not accurately tracking your breath, it'll switch back to the old system silently and you won't even notice. There are tons of optimizations. I know that's probably not that exciting for you guys unless you've been having trouble running it, but it's very exciting for me, and obviously we have more optimizations coming. I've reduced the craziness on one of these visualizations. They call this the ocean visualization, and I was just noticing that even as the player gets pretty calm, this visualization can be kind of crazy. So I made some adjustments to make it nicer, friendlier. When I made meditative mode, I meant for it to play the nicest sounds, as well as just the nicest, easiest visuals in the calmest way possible. And I screwed up the programming of it so that instead of playing the nicest sounds, it actually played the most aggressive and annoying sounds. So now meditative mode will actually play the nicest sounds. There was a terrible audio bug that would happen if you were trying to use a different audio output to your primary system default audio output. That's been fixed. Sorry about that if you encountered that. It's all better now. There's improved color correction behavior. That will make it so that as you breathe in, it doesn't quite adjust the colors as crazily as it was doing before. So much of SoundSelf's actually later development has been about pulling back on the intensity and pulling back on the craziness. And this is one of the ways in which I think SoundSelf's reactivity got a little bit out of control, and now it's just calming down a little bit to meet you where you are. Finally, I've gotten a lot of feedback on the previous builds, and here are some things that we've changed based on that. There's now an option for, instead of a guided meditation at the beginning, you could just have 2 minutes of silence, which means that you can just take your time to settle in and then it'll begin. And if you do the 2 minutes of silence setting, then after the game ends and it fades to white, it will just stay in white for a little while longer. It'll just stay in that silent point before resetting it. There is now an option for either removing the introductory tunnel as a whole or removing the text there, which I think was a great idea. A whole bunch of people wanted to get the text out, which I think is very smart and very good. And the text was honestly only there as sort of a compromise for helping people learn the learn the experience to begin with. And if you've learned the experience and you don't want the text, I think that's a damn wise choice, and now you have the option to remove it. Here's kind of a funny one. The duration of the game will now actually reflect the duration that you asked it to. Before, it was longer. And finally, this is a subtle one, but I think it's nice. When the world resets, if you move your head, we had this kind of loud, angry sound before, and based on user feedback, I've changed that, so it's just a nicer, more subtle sound now. Okay, please let me know how you enjoy this build. Share your experiences with me. I'm excited to get this build out, and I'm going to be trying to get builds out more regularly and start communicating with you all more regularly as well, because we're ramping up to launch at some point in the future. So yeah, I'm just kind of excited to engage with you guys more. One of the ways that we'll be able to do this is I'm starting a weekly live stream. And the first one is going to be exclusive to Kickstarter backers, because I'm kind of going to be giving out some information about the design of SoundSelf that I kind of want to keep mostly a secret. But if you are a Kickstarter backer, then you could tune into that live stream this coming Monday. And otherwise, or if you're really interested, email me and I'll give you a link. But otherwise, I'm going to start doing these every week, and I think they're going to be every Monday. But check your inbox, everything should be there. Thank you guys so much.